Welcome to Intuitive Seek. My name is Mary Train, and as an intuitive guide, energy healer, and meditation teacher, I aim to bring you a grounded approach to all things energy and intuition. Everything I share is with the hope to help you remember how your unique power of intuition is your own greatest teacher. Hello, welcome everyone. Welcome to September 2024. Here we are at the top of the last 4 months of this calendar year. Yeah, another way that I have really seen how quickly this year has flown by. And I know it's not just for me because I hear it from people that I'm connecting with all the time, that there is just a momentum and drive this year that has been difficult to keep up with. And August was a really interesting month. I'm curious how it was for you, how you were doing. Did you survive it? Did you thrive in it? I know many people were having intense experiences on both sides, thriving and surviving. It was quite emotional for a lot of us. And for me, when things are more intensely emotional, heightened, energetically, what I've experienced is that is usually what happens before we are entering a new cycle, a new phase, a new time. And this fresh back to school September energy, that is what is ushering us in for this month. So if you were feeling through August this kind of watery depth of energy, really feeling your emotions, your energy in motion, as I've referred to it before, and many have before me. If that was you in August, you were definitely not alone. And what happens when we are feeling the depth of those emotions is it helps us connect to our inner wisdom. But when we don't allow ourselves to move through those emotions, it can create a bit of a stuck, stagnant, frozen feeling. So I hope you were able to, if you were one of us who are moving through a lot of emotions in August, I hope you allowed yourself to really feel, to connect to all of the emotions that you were carrying, to yours, and perhaps to some feelings that were not yours to carry. And that's what August really felt like, that it was allowing us, especially the end of August, to kind of loosen our grip on the aspects of ourselves, parts of our energy that we're ready to let go, that are not serving us as we move forward into September, into the last 4 months of this year. It's that transformative energy that we've been feeling kind of all year. But of course, what so many of us needed as well was to bring care and tenderness to ourselves as we were moving through all of that, to really care for our nervous system, to get back into the practice of grounding daily, of grounding our energy, to know when we are grounded or not. Some ways to even say that are, did some of us need to unplug, or did some of us need to plug back in? So I hope in August you were able to take care of yourself, to really allow yourself to feel. And I hope you allowed yourself to really move forward, regardless of knowing whether it was the right way. If you picked a direction, if you chose, that was the way. And I'm sure now in September, if you look back at the month, you can kind of see the method to that momentum, see where that path was leading you in August. And maybe even that hindsight into August has offered you a little bit of oh, I see what September is here for, even a little bit. And of course, I will dive into the energy impressions. But first, I wanted to share a little story about my birthday and signs from the universe, heaven, God, however you like to connect to it. So I celebrated my birthday in August on the 19th, and it was a really lovely birthday, very relaxing, very quiet. It's how I wanted it. But on my birthday in the morning, I really wanted like a chocolate croissant and just have my coffee and relax and read and just have like a perfect, no plan morning. But when I was having my coffee and my croissant and just enjoying myself, I started to really miss my cat, Bo, who passed away 2 years ago, almost three now. And I have his picture up, and it was in my eye line of where I was sitting with my coffee. And I had my bandit with me, who is still with us, and they were a bonded pair that we adopted together. And so I was petting Bandit and looking at the picture of Bo, and I was really remembering quite viscerally what it felt like to pet Bo and how his little cheek felt and his little chin and, the tooth that kind of jutted out a little bit more when he rubbed his face against me. And I was really missing him, and I was feeling a lot of grief and love, but I was feeling that grief of his physical presence not being here anymore. And I've spoken quite a bit about pet loss and grief and heart healing in the past on this podcast. But yeah, it is a constant kind of moving through, which many of you know. There's never really an end to losing a loved one. And so I had this quick, intuitive feeling to connect with Bo and ask him to send me a ladybug as a birthday gift. And it was the first very quick thought that came to me. And there was a small part of me that thought, oh, don't ask for that. Because if you don't get it, if it doesn't come, that's going to be disappointing. And you don't want to be disappointed on your birthday. But I was feeling so much love with the grief and had such a strong visual memory of him that morning. And the ladybug idea came so quickly. I thought, why not? What's wrong with a birthday wish? Even if it's about asking for something in the unseen mystery. Because when we ask for signs to be shown from our loved ones who have passed, or signs for anything, there is no definitive reason or evidence if it's real or not, right? But that's why our intuition is so important, and understanding the language of our intuition, because it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if you can prove it to someone else or not. The experience is for you. And that experience that I was asking for to be a physical representation of my connection to Bo, who is really like a little soulmate kitty for me, that was for me. So I asked, I would love to see a ladybug, and it will be a little message from Bo of a happy birthday and that a little wink, a little hello, all the things, a sign of love, a sign of life after loss. So then I continued on my day and with my partner, and we went to have really good food to eat and a nice walk and did lots of fun things. And then we were coming home. So I had finished opening my presents, finished all the calls, relaxing into the couch with my partner, and I look up above the window in our living room, and there's this like dot on the wall. And I asked my partner, BJ, I said, BJ, what is that? And he went, that's a ladybug. And I was shocked. And this is not the first time a ladybug has been a sign that I asked for and it has appeared. I've seen this kind of beautiful mystery with my grandmother who passed. And this is the first time that I had asked for a ladybug with Bo before. And there was a ladybug. There it was. And I went up and I looked, and of course I took a little video because what are we if we are not documenting? But just for me, I really wanted to see it as a little memory. And like I was saying, when we ask for signs like this, it's for us. It's for us. And that's why I'm sharing it. That if this inspires you to start connecting with loved ones that you've lost, if it feels right this way, to ask for a sign, to follow that part of you, because maybe there is a connection that you can receive through that sign that you're already thinking of. And when I saw the ladybug, it was an instant feeling of so much love. It kind of washed away that earlier grief that had resurfaced. And maybe it didn't wash it away, but it transmuted it or transformed it into that love that I could really feel. But then also that wonder of, wow, how amazing. And then as soon as it came, it was gone. And then I went away to visit family, and it was really nice too because I didn't have to take a bunch of time off of work because I luckily get to work through my computer where I have clients from around the world, which is, yeah, always so amazing to me. And I'm super grateful for. It's quite a dream. And yes, so I was working and away and having fun with family. And yeah, it was just a really nice week. So then I got back. It's the evening. We were just about to have dinner. And I was sitting again in my living room with my partner. Same scene. And I was looking up at the window to that spot where I had seen, I'll call it Bobo's ladybug on my birthday. And I thought, oh, wouldn't it be funny if the ladybug appeared again? If Bobo could send me another ladybug. And I had that thought, that dual thought at the same time of, don't get greedy. What are you asking again for? You already had this beautiful thing happen, this lovely experience. Why do you want it again? Are you searching for evidence? Did you not believe it? Did you not believe your feelings? Because again, it's for me. But I did feel like it could have been there. And it wasn't there. But then I heard my partner say, hey, little guy. And I looked at him, and on his finger was a ladybug, another ladybug on his finger, had flown and landed on his finger. And I just felt that love again and the magic of our world. I really have experienced that our love with our loved ones, that does not die, that never breaks, and it is a connection. It's that elastic connector. And I feel like when we ask for signs, it is a reminder of that connection. So if that inspires you to try, why not? There's a book called Signs by Laura Lynn Jackson, all about stories from people who have had incredible experiences with different signs from their loved ones. And yeah, it was just such a lovely birthday present. And I am so happy to share it with you. Okay, so yes, let's get into the energy impressions for the month ahead, September 2024. If you have not listened to these before, welcome. If you have, welcome back. Thank you so much for listening and being here. I love to hear from you. If you are a listener, please reach out if you've ever felt like, oh, I want to share this. Please do. I love hearing from you guys. But if you haven't heard these before, and just a reminder for those that have, with these energy impressions, they are not meant to be predictive or any kind of information that is going to lead you through the month. What I do is I go into a nice deep meditation with the intention of connecting to the energy of the month ahead for our highest good, what we may need to know so that we can move through the month with more clarity, more direction, and more intention, most importantly. So I'll share some guidance and insights, some journal prompts that you can use as voice note prompts to help you connect to yourself and your intuition even more. And there's always an animal for the month too that helps to inspire us. So the animal, the insight, the questions, they are all meant to help you connect deeper and in new ways to your own intuitive voice, to the language of your intuition. And I hope they inspire you. And with everything I share, take what resonates with you and leave the rest. Okay, so for September 2024, right away, it felt like this month will be a great opportunity to connect deeply to our hearts, to that beautiful green, pink energy of our beautiful hearts, and that our hearts will help to guide us this month as well. And how is this different than any other month? It feels more focused. Of course, we always want to be connected to our hearts, but in September, it felt like this will be a place that will help us when we feel ungrounded, uncertain, and moving through maybe even more change, but really more new experiences that don't feel as familiar. Then we can come back to our hearts. But it also felt like a focus, kind of a zoning in on our heartbeat, on the rhythm of our heartbeat. And this felt like a reminder to reconnect or even reclaim your own rhythm. Is it slow? Is it moving quickly? What is your pace? If you're unsure, come back to your heart. You can take some time and feel and listen to your heartbeat because we each have a different pace. And even if you think physically with our heartbeat, our kind of beats per minute, there's a huge range of what is considered in the normal range of heartbeat per minute. But most people have a different one to the other. But it doesn't make it better or worse. So it feels like this month, more care still for ourselves and our nervous system, maybe even continuing to expand on those practices that hopefully you started last month. But by connecting to and honoring your own rhythm, your speed, your pace, that is another extremely tender way to care for your nervous system. Because then you're not out of harmony with you, with the way your energy is working, the way your energy works. So connecting to your heart, connecting to your heartbeat, remembering your own rhythm, your pace, maybe even paying attention to in recent time where you were moving away from your own rhythm, where you were acting out of pace with yourself. How can you come back? Well, connect to your heart first and feel the energy and the pace of your heart. And then I had a really clear visual in my meditation of a pocket watch, kind of moving out of a pocket and then floating kind of in the air. And this felt like a symbol about being able to and having the opportunity to, but really more of an invitation to reflect on that ticking clock in your life. What time frames are you still holding on to that do not work with your own rhythm? Are they still in alignment with where you are or where you want to go? Is there a feeling of time running out, not enough time, need to speed up? Because this visual really felt like the idea to connect with this month, what time frame or timetable or ticking time that we are giving way too much power when it is actually not what we need and it's not working for us. What clock are you working for that you don't even know why? And it might be kind of hidden because it was really in that pocket. So in September, can you carve out some time to look at time? Make some time to look at time, to see where maybe in your body, because often our body, right, can show us what we're trying to discover, where you may be feeling more anxious, worry, maybe more tense or contracted. That can show you where you are allowing a timetable or a ticking time or a worry of not enough time, where you're allowing that to kind of cloud your reality, to cloud all that you already can do and are doing at your own pace, clouding your rhythm. So, September, even though it is that kind of back to school energy, that fresh energy that can kind of feel like picking up the pace, maybe for some of you, it is about picking up the pace because that's natural and innate to you. But for some of us, it's about kind of smashing that pocket watch and allowing us to realign to our own rhythm, releasing the expectations of a time frame, letting go of any time that is holding power over you, and coming back, you guessed it, to your heart. And knowing that as long as you are being true to yourself and true to the people around you as best as you can, then you're right on time. So, really about listening so deeply and maybe in new ways, listening in new ways to your heart, to that rhythm, to where you may have anxiety or fear or tension. Is it because you feel like you're running out of time? This month feels like it's time to let that go. And one way to let it go is to be aware of it first. That's the most important. So, really reflecting on that ticking clock in your life. That's what feels like a big invitation for September. Because then what I saw and felt next was kind of moving outside of a box, not being confined to a structure that was holding you before. And that structure may be time, but it may be just a part of that time. And that may be something to look at for September as well. Like really feeling into any box that you are in right now that does not feel good, that might be holding you back from doing what your heart is asking you to do. Are you feeling confined? Are you feeling more safe in the box because you don't want to move out of that comfort of the box? In September, really asking your intuition for what you need to know about where you are being held and how you may be already getting the call from inside, from the heart, to move out, to leave that safety of that box behind, and to venture out into the new path, the new way at your own pace, with your heart as your guide. I mean, it sounds like a pretty full September, but it also feels completely true on so many levels and right on time as well, another time, because if I look back at the whole year, we have prepared for this. And that feels like another invitation too for September, to look back at the year and see how much knowledge and wisdom you have been given and discovered and remembered that will help you move through September and help you reconnect to your heart and let go of deadlines or time frames that are old and not for you anymore. To let yourself out of a box that maybe fit you perfectly before. How has this year really prepared you for that? Because then in the meditation, it was a beautiful sky, but the clouds were full and really blocking out any sun. And then the clouds parted and opened up this clear stream of light, clear sun streaming through. And it felt like clarity from the heavens, clarity from above. And this feels like such a beautiful symbol to remind us in September to pay attention to what has been kind of clouding that clarity, clouding that light from streaming in, what has been clouding your life and your vision and your inspiration and your understanding and your compassion and your wisdom and your knowledge and your heart. Maybe clouding your ability to express your creative spirit. So, what has your cloud been hiding? And if this resonates with you, you can use it as an example, as a visualization to kind of meditate on. That you can imagine those kind of heavy clouds in the sky, and then imagine them dispersing, opening up, and then that light shining through. And then pay attention to how that feels. How does it make you feel? Connect to that feeling, because that feeling will guide you to what has been hidden, what has been clouded. There's so much potential in this month. So, what is ready for you to see? And then, as that light was coming through and the clouds were dispersing, then it felt like this month there could be a lot more opportunity for connecting to that childlike joy and wonder and excitement when we were really lit up. That time in our life before somebody told us we were too excited or it wasn't interesting or that we were wrong for some reason. So, allowing yourself to be more playful, allowing yourself to open up to what creates that wonder and excitement and awe, because that childlike part of ourselves energetically is always with us. And it's a real, authentic piece. And if you connect to it, it's not separate, it's a part of you. And it can show you how to get into that authenticity inside, allowing you to really remember and know in a playful, light, childlike way what it feels like to be yourself. And then you also, by doing that, know what is yours and what isn't. So September really feels like a time for us to remember and discover and gain a lot of knowledge. And maybe it's not even getting, but like digesting what we already know, really embodying it and feeling it, which in turn helps you feel more centered and grounded and aligned. And that's where the clarity is. So in September, how can you gain that clarity, but without so much work? And that's why I feel like that playful, childlike energy is so important this month, too. So, with all the depth of looking in, connecting to your heart, seeing what was clouding your vision, clouding your inspiration, all the depth that we have already spoken about, with all of that, we also need to lighten up, which may be part of that symbolism of the clouds parting and the light coming through. Maybe we are being a bit of a cloud too. So, how can you lighten up in the face of the world? Because it doesn't mean that you're not paying attention, it means that you can hold both. So, how can you hold the lightness and the darkness? That's where the grounded feeling is, by allowing both to exist and not ignoring it. But when we're not going at our own pace, when we don't know our own rhythm, then it can feel overwhelming to have and hold both. And that's why your heart is so important in September. So, how can you take care of your heart and yourself and your nervous system? One of the overarching themes for this month really feels like, what do you need? What do you need? And maybe it's you need to move into the mystery, or maybe you need to move into the playful, childlike, wonderful balance of work and play. Or maybe you need to sit and be still and allow yourself to digest everything that you have learned and understood and discovered and remembered. Maybe that's the pace you need for September. So, yeah, in September, we are connecting to our own rhythms. And when we do that, we become so much more accepting of everyone else's, less judgmental, because you know how important it is to know yourself. So you accept and respect how other people are themselves too. Okay, and then we have the animal for September. And this animal, I don't know if we've had this one on the podcast before, but it was a lynx, a beautiful lynx, which is kind of like a bobcat, but not, and but twice the size of a house cat. They usually are kind of photographed in the snow. So the lynx is pretty amazing. Most of their hunting is done just with their ears, and then they kind of delve into the snow and find their prey. So even though they have great sight, their talent is in listening to and knowing what is unseen. And that feels like such a great symbol for September because their ability to kind of know and be patient with and trust their own rhythm of when to act and when to dive into the snow at the right time. That's what we need to get back to in September for ourselves. To trust our intuition, to trust in what is not seen but felt and known and understood. And I was researching a bit more about the lynx, and in some cultures, their shamans use the lynx as an animal that represents traveling through different space and time. So that the lynx actually, to some cultures, represents connecting to time. What a beautiful animal for September to really remember to get out of other people's time frame, deadlines, ticking clocks that are not yours, and remember what your time is, what your pace is, that you can set the clock. And in September, maybe that's what we're doing. We're resetting each of our own clocks. And then the lynx is super playful too, which helps us be inspired to connect to that childlike energy that we all have. But the one thing about the lynx that I felt inspired by, connected to the childlike wonder, is that they are solitary animals. And this felt like a great reminder that being playful, feeling lit up, connecting to that childlike play, you can do that on your own. And it's probably more impactful when we can do that on our own, because then we find that lightness that we're needing so deeply this year, but definitely this month. So the lynx also represents perception, patience, intuition, truth, wisdom, knowledge, secrets, mystery, seeing the unseen, balancing work and play, and authenticity. And those all feel right on point for what to pay attention to through the month. And if that resonates with you, look up a picture of the lynx, look at it, see what it feels like, maybe even have some minutes of stillness and kind of meditate on it and see what it inspires within you. And now let's get into some intuitive questions. You can use them as journal prompts for September, getting a bit more clarity around what you want to focus on, what you want to understand and know, and what your intentions are for the month ahead, giving you more clarity as you move through it. But you can also answer these to yourself in a voice note, or even on a walk and not record it at all. Use them as ways for you to get in touch with that clear, intuitive knowing to your own inner wisdom. So the first question for September could be reflecting on that ticking clock in your life. What time frames, deadlines are you holding on to? Are they yours? Are they someone else's? And are they still in alignment with where you are and where you want to go? And then a second question could be, if there are clouds in your life, what are they clouding? And if they parted, what would they reveal? What has been clouding your life, your vision, your understanding, the real you? What have you been keeping a secret from yourself, about yourself? Move through those clouds and see what you can see. Oh, in the light of that question, that light that we open up to when we move those clouds away, that reminds me of one last thing with the lynx, is that the root word of lynx is Luke, which kind of sounds like somebody's outfit, their Luke, but it's Leuk. It's Proto-Indo-European, and it means light and brightness. So again, what a beautiful animal to inspire us for September. Okay, number 3, another question that you could use to really connect with your intuition this month. What box are you in right now, metaphorically? Does it feel good or is it holding you back? Are you feeling confined or safe? Connect to your intuition and ask, what do you need to know about the energy of this box? And why is it important to move outside of it? And then a fourth intuitive question for September could be, what activity activates a childlike wonder, awe, and excitement within you? And how can you care for yourself by making space for this activity or activities this month? And remember, when we're connecting to that child energy of ourselves, that excitement, that wonder, it doesn't matter whether you have real life experience with having an exciting, lit up childhood. It's connecting to that childlike energy that you hold and what you can give as an adult to that childlike part of yourself to really light both of you up. So, what can you do to really activate that wonder and awe and excitement? And can you make space to do that this month? Can you commit to it? To add that lightness into your life. And then this month I had a fifth one. Sometimes we only have 3, sometimes 4. September, we have 5 intuitive questions for you to pick from. So the fifth question could be, what does it feel like when you bring all of your attention to your heart? If you imagine that you can crawl into the energy of your heart to get back into your heart, if you let yourself and your imagination fully connect to what that would feel like to be held within your heart, describe that and allow your imagination to flow and trust what you imagine. You may be really surprised. And then when you are connected to your heart, you're able to listen and be guided by it. So I hope that the energy impressions that I shared for September resonated with you. I really hope that some of them have given you a bit of clarity for this month ahead. Okay, so thank you again so much for listening to this episode of Intuitive Seek. Again, let me know if this resonated with you, if you are feeling the energy that I shared and moving through for September. And especially if you have any thoughts or questions, you can message me through my website, treenlight.com, or through my Instagram at treenlight.healing. And if you're curious about how I can support you, go to the show notes and you can explore all the ways that I can support you through my intuitive work and my energy healing. And it's easy to find all those links in the show notes. Just scroll down from where you're listening. Also, it is hugely appreciated if you subscribe or follow wherever you get your podcasts. And if you feel called to give me some support and help other people find this podcast, then please share this episode with a friend, or you could leave a review. So thank you again. Be kind to yourself, and I'll talk to you soon.
Hi, Auntie Mary. I just wanted to say something very,